The main 616 Marvel Universe is a weird place filled with mutants, aliens, and gods. It's often plagued by intergalactic enemies that threaten to destroy all of existence. As strange as 616 may be, the multiverse that surrounds it is even stranger. Across the multiverse, there are outlandish and perplexing mashups of heroes and villains. A near infinite number of variants of your favorite characters exist throughout the multiverse. Some of them are only slightly different from the originals. Others differ in wildly unexpected ways that will change how you see the character forever. In this multiverse, there are even variants of the craziest, most unpredictable character in the Marvel Universe, Deadpool. The Merc with a Mouth is one of the few characters in the Marvel Universe that knows he exists in a comic book. That knowledge has turned Wade Wilson into a fourth-wall-breaking, murdering machine. He's known for his random behavior and violent tendencies. With his insane healing factor, Deadpool is practically an immortal, joke-cracking, skull-smashing assassin. It's hard to imagine how crazy and bizarre the variants of Deadpool would be. An infinite number of Deadpools, all armed with the same dysfunctional personality and powers. Well, you don't have to imagine too hard because Plot Armor has you covered. We're going to go over the 10 strangest variants of Deadpool that have ever graced the pages of Marvel Comics. By the end of the video, you'll know everything about these variants, including where they're from, their history, and everything that makes them so bizarre. We'll be going over the weird, the disturbing, and the just plain wrong. As a note, we're only going to consider characters who are official variants of 616 Wade Wilson. That means no clones or characters inspired by Deadpool. Sadly, that automatically knocks Gwenpool out of the running since she's technically not a variant of Deadpool. We've got a lot of zaniness to go through, so let's jump right in. These are the top 10 weirdest Deadpool variants in the Marvel Universe. 10. Spiralpool. Anyone that's ever picked up an X-Men comic knows that there are a lot of mutants. Hundreds of mutants have made appearances over the years. Many of them have taken on the role of villains. One of the more obscure villains is Spiral. Spiral's backstory and powers were already convoluted before Deadpool was added to the mix. Rita Wayward was attacked by a mutated future version of herself and taken to the Mojoverse, an alternate dimension ruled by the monstrous tyrant Mojo. Once in Mojo's possession, Rita was forced into being his loyal servant. She was experimented on, mutating and augmenting her body. Her hair turned gray and she was left with 6 arms, some of them robotic. Rita was also trained in dark magic and given the ability to see into other dimensions. Once her transformation was complete, she was given the name Spiral and sent back in time to kidnap her past self. This trapped her in a time paradox where she always becomes Mojo's servant. From that point on, Spiral became a formidable enemy to the X-Men, defeating the entire team by herself multiple times. In the comic Deadpool Kills Deadpool, we learn of Earth TRN-317, the home universe of Spiralpool. In this dimension, there exists an amalgamation of Spiral and Deadpool. This combo basically created a mutant, cyborg, samurai, dark sorceress version of Deadpool. Spiralpool is one of the few female variants of Deadpool that exist in the multiverse. Spiralpool doesn't have a rich or deep history like other variants since she only appears as a side character in a brief miniseries. Her only notable action was joining the Evil Deadpool Corps, an organization composed of evil variants of Deadpool. We'll be seeing more of these variants later on in the list. She also briefly fought Lady Deadpool, the only other female variant of Deadpool in the known multiverse. This sparked a very brief conversation about girls never getting along and ending up in endless catfights. Sadly, Spiralpool met her demise at the hands of a panda variant of Deadpool. She was cut in half when Pandapool bisected her with a rusty door. She was finished off when the helmet of a Galactus version of Deadpool crushed her. The strangest thing about Spiralpool is really just her visual look. A 6-armed female Deadpool in a samurai hat. Spiralpool doesn't display any of Spiral's weirder powers and doesn't play a major role in the comic. It's for these reasons that she's ranked number 10. But don't worry, we've still got plenty of freakier variants to discuss. Before we reveal more Deadpool variants, be sure to subscribe to the channel with notifications on to never miss an upload, and smash that like button for some plot armor today. 9. Beard of Beastpool. Sometimes the multiverse just creates something strange just for the sake of being strange. Not because it would create an interesting new perspective on a character or see how a character could handle cool new powers. Sometimes things are just random because the multiverse craves it. Beard of Beastpool definitely fits that description. As you might have guessed, Beastpool is just a variant of Deadpool with a beard made of bees. Besides the bees, there isn't really anything that makes Beastpool different from the original Deadpool. To be fair, he doesn't stick around long enough to really show off his differences since he's killed one page after he's introduced. During a meeting of the evil Deadpool Corps, they discover that there is a spy in their organization feeding information to the original Deadpool Corps. Very quickly, everyone else at the meeting figures out that Beastpool is the spy. One of the evil variants blows his brains out, partially because going through due process isn't evil enough, and partially because the buzzing annoyed him. Beard of Beastpool also doesn't seem to have Deadpool's iconic regeneration abilities because he's never seen again after getting shot in the head. The character mostly exists as a brief gag to show how bad the evil Deadpool Corps is. Although Beastpool is only around for 2 pages and doesn't affect the plot, you still can't help but look at him and ask, why? 8. Dogpool. Dogpool may not be the weirdest variant, but he's definitely the most adorable one on our list. This variant from Earth 103173 has an origin pretty similar to the original Deadpool. Dogpool was a dog named Wilson, owned by the makeup company where he was used as an animal test subject for Mascara X. This scientifically engineered mascara was meant to replenish itself after one application. Instead, it disfigured Dogpool and nearly killed him. The lab owners assumed that Dogpool was no longer useful and tossed him in a dumpster. Talk about a kick the dog moment. Unknown to the owners, Mascara X gave him the ability to heal from any injuries or wounds. With his new powers, Dogpool survived and escaped from the dumpster, wandering through the streets. While on the streets, he was shunned and hunted by townspeople because of his disfigured body. The hate soon drove Dogpool into a dark place. In an act of desperation, Dogpool threw himself in front of a car, but survived due to his regeneration powers. While lying on the road, a clown truck found Dogpool and decided to take him back to the circus. Because of Dogpool's immortality, he became an extremely popular stunt dog for the circus. The Merc with a Bark was transformed into the death-defying hound. Dogpool's popularity did come back to bite him, though, when the lab owners discovered that he had survived. They quickly realized the money that Dogpool could make them and decided to get him back. Being mad scientists, the lab owners created another mutant dog to capture Dogpool. Their creation was the Wolverine. Yes, that Wolverine. This dog even came equipped with his own set of adamantium claws. Soon, Wolverine and Dogpool did battle, with Wolverine initially taking the advantage. But like a true Deadpool, Dogpool managed to flip the script and trick Wolverine into a cannon that fired him into a pool of acid. Immediately after Dogpool's victory, the original Deadpool recruited him for the Deadpool Corps. And thus began Dogpool's wild adventures across the multiverse, where he became close friends with a kid version of Deadpool. Tragically, Dogpool's journeys were cut short in the first issue of Deadpool Kills Deadpool when he sacrificed his life for the 616 Deadpool. The Daredevil dog was vaporized with an anti-regeneration ray by an evil variant of Deadpool. Dogpool may be gone from the multiverse, but he lives on in our hearts. 7. Venompool. Now, let's get into something a lot less adorable. In what has got to be one of the weirdest what-if stories, we learn the origin of Venompool, a Deadpool possessed by the Venom symbiote. On Earth 615.9, Wade Wilson receives a job from Galactus to kill the Beyonder, an omnipotent space god powered by cosmic Jerry curls because he fused MODOK to Galactus' butt. Deadpool accepts the job and tracks down the Beyonder at a nightclub. Unfortunately, Deadpool quickly falls under the Beyonder's partying aura. While under the Beyonder's influence, Deadpool gets his own set of cosmic Jerry curls that push him to party. Deadpool and the Beyonder take off in their flying limo, chauffeured by Bobby Oceanic, and are attacked by Spider-Man in the symbiote suit. Bobby shoots Spider-Man out of the limo with a ray gun, leaving behind the Venom symbiote which attaches to Deadpool. And thus, Venompool is born. The symbiote also made his Jerry curls sentient. Venompool would then spend the next 8 years partying with the Beyonder before the space deity got bored and abandoned him. This betrayal snapped Venompool out of his party trance and reminded him of his original mission to kill the Beyonder. Venompool decided to get clean and become a real hero, but was rejected from all the hero teams because of his Jerry curls. This motivated him to remove the cosmic Jerry curls with the sonic sounds of a bell tower. The next couple of years of Venompool's life were unfulfilling as he was still unable to make it as a big-time hero. Eventually, he ended up on a Jerry Springer-style show with the Beyonder, hosted by a watcher named Harry Spranger. After abandoning Venompool, the Beyonder moved on and got involved with a woman possessed by Venompool's sentient Jerry Curls, now called the Carnage Curls. Over the years, the Carnage Curls made Venompool's life a living hell. She killed his secret great-uncle, burned down his laboratory, and left an upper decker in his toilet. On the show, Carnage Curls reveals that she's pregnant, but Galactus shows up and tells everyone that he's the father. Carnage Curls' pregnancy was all part of his revenge plot against the Beyonder. Enraged, the Beyonder attacks Galactus and the two of them battle. Both beings are so powerful that they destroy the Earth, leaving Venompool as one of the only survivors. Venompool became so tired of both cosmic beings that he erased them with the Retcon Expungifier gun. After that, the Earth was somehow fixed and Venompool became a global superstar, but he still felt empty inside. So, he killed every hero and villain on Earth so that he would be the only hero left and everyone would love only him. After doing this, he still felt hollow, so he went home, got the Retcon Expungifier, and erased his universe. Well, that's the story of Venompool. It barely followed any logic, but it sure was a wild ride. 6. Galactipool. We've covered a story where a Deadpool variant kills Galactus, but there is a variant where Deadpool becomes Galactus. In the second issue of Deadpool Kills Deadpool, we're introduced to Galactipool. He interrupts a fight between the Deadpool Corps and the evil Deadpool Corps. Galactipool was the evil Deadpool Corps' trump card if the fight didn't go their way. His job was to consume the planet, killing every Deadpool variant on it. Just like Galactus, he enjoys eating planets. But like Deadpool, he also likes chimichangas, specifically geological chimichangas. Galactipool also seems to be a fan of dramatic speeches like Galactus too. As he's in the process of eating the planet, he mourns the fact that it'll contribute to his weight gain. Luckily, Galactipool's cheat meal was interrupted by Lady Deadpool. She sacrificed herself by flying a spaceship named B. Arthur into Galactipool's face, killing them both. His helmet, filled with brain matter, even landed on a few members of the evil Deadpool Corps, obliterating them. Alas, our time with Galactipool was brief, but he left a major impact on our hearts. On the bright side, now that he's dead, Galactipool doesn't have to worry about all those fatty calories that come from planets. On to the next. 5. Deadpool. So, we'll be upfront and tell you now that the next entry on our list is cheating just a little bit. Two Deadpool variants have the same name, and they're both robots, so we'll just throw them together in the number 5 spot. Without further ado, let's meet Deadpool and Deadpool. Same name, different meaning. Our first Deadpool is a fusion of Wade Wilson and MODOK. That's right, the guy that got stuck to Galactus's butt. MODOK in the 616 universe was a scientist named George Tarleton who was mutated into a human supercomputer. The name MODOK is an acronym meaning mental organism designed only for killing. The Deadpool variant of MODOK comes from Earth TRN 322. Like the original MODOK, his name is also an acronym, meaning Destructive Engine of Assassination despite Pamagoptisis, obsessed with opponent liquidation. Wow, that's a mouthful. Like many of the other variants we've seen so far, Deadpool was a member of the evil Deadpool Corps, but also like the other members, he didn't stick around long. It was only a few pages after his introduction when he was mauled to death by Pandapool. His bloody remains were then vaporized by 616 Deadpool with the anti-regeneration ray. Seeing a version of Deadpool with stubby limbs and a giant baby head is disturbing enough to make anyone's skin crawl. Our other acronym Deadpool is much less horrific to look at and actually comes from the 616 universe. During a huge Marvel event, Gamora used the Infinity Stones to create a new reality called Warp World. In this reality, every person was fused with another, creating strange and powerful new characters. Deadpool must have drawn the short end of the stick, because while characters like Captain America merged with Doctor Strange, he was fused with Herbie. For those not in the know, Herbie is the robotic helper of the Fantastic Four, whose name stands for Highly Engineered Robot Built for Interdimensional Exploration. In the Infinity Warps comic, this version of Deadpool only appears on trading cards that deliver info dumps on supervillains like Dr. Doomactus. That's it for the acronyms and robots. Let's get back to the flesh and sometimes bloody Deadpools. 4. Dupe. During the events of Warp World, Deadpool didn't just fuse with the Fantastic Four's robot. He actually got a second amalgamation that's much more a style. The immortal assassin fused with the science experiment gone horribly right. Dupe. Dupe is a bit hard to explain because he can kinda do anything and everything. According to Captain America, Dupe was created by the US government during the Cold War as part of a secret weapons project. Dupe has genius-level intelligence that also gives him psionic powers like levitation, mind control, and energy manipulation. He's both strong enough and durable enough to go toe-to-toe with Thor. Dupe has tons of other strange and godlike powers, but his most important attribute is that he's aware that he's in a comic book. That's right, Dupe breaks the fourth wall just as much as Deadpool. There isn't a better character in the multiverse for Deadpool to fuse with. We don't get to see the full craziness that Dupepool would have unleashed on Warp World since he's only in a few pages of the issue. In most of his appearances, Dupepool harasses Loki while he visits Xavier's school for gifted youngsters. While speaking an alien language, Dupepool follows Deadpool around while pantsless. We're both highly disappointed and thankful that we didn't get to see more of Dupepool. The multiverse is safer and less interesting without him. 3. Headpool. The story of Headpool is filled with tragedy, loss, and gratuitous violence. This particular Deadpool originates from Earth 2149, otherwise known as the zombie universe of the Marvel Multiverse. In this universe, nearly every hero and villain has been infected with a zombie virus that makes them crave human flesh. Deadpool was no exception to this global plague. Like everyone else, Wade Wilson became an undead monster, but he still retained his witty humor and sarcastic personality. We don't get any definitive information about this zombie version of Deadpool until Marvel Zombies 3. While in a swamp, he attacks a group of human survivors and reveals his new nickname, the Merc with Half a Mouth. During the fight with the survivors, Deadpool is thrown into the blades of a fan boat, obliterating his body. Only his head survived the carnage, creating the Headpool we all know and love that fell into a portal leading to the 616 universe. We pick back up with Headpool in Deadpool, Merc with a Mouth, where he is being worshipped as a god by a tribe of remote indigenous people. Headpool is one of the few Deadpool variants that spends a prolonged amount of time with the original Deadpool. Wade was hired by the evil organization AIM to retrieve Headpool so they could develop their own zombie virus. The first time Headpool and Deadpool met, the zombie wanted to take Deadpool's body for himself. When that plan didn't work, Headpool quickly decided to become friends instead. Eventually, Deadpool realizes that AIM would destroy the world if they got their hands on Headpool. He takes the zombie head back and decides to return him to his original universe. The two of them go on a brief multiversal road trip before reaching the zombie universe. Deadpool then goes on an adventure to get back to his original universe. The story ends with Headpool being reattached to a past version of his body, causing him to feel hunger again. This causes him to jump back through the portal into the 616 universe, creating a time loop. That time loop is eventually broken when Headpool is picked up by pirates in the 616 universe and given to an evil doctor. The doctor gives Headpool a flying beanie that is controlled by his brainwaves. The 616 Deadpool shows up and kills all the pirates on the island so he can recruit Headpool for the Deadpool Corps. Armed with the power of flight, Headpool goes on yet another multiversal adventure. All of that comes to an end though when an evil version of Deadpool puts Headpool in a microwave and blows him up. Just like Dogpool, Headpool met a sudden and gory demise. There aren't many things in the multiverse stranger than a zombified talking head trapped in a time loop, but we still got 2 more variants to go. 2. Dreadpool. This next variant is probably the most famous version of Deadpool. This is the Deadpool that killed the Marvel Universe. On Earth 12101, the X-Men took Wade Wilson to a doctor in an attempt to make him sane. The doctor turned out to be a supervillain named Psycho Man, who was mind-controlling his patients instead of curing them. Psycho Man destroyed Deadpool's many inner voices when he tried to brainwash him. The brainwashing failed, but Psycho Man did release a suppressed voice that told him that the universe was a lie and that the only way to be free was to kill everyone. From that point, Deadpool became Dreadpool and went on a non-stop massacre, murdering every hero and villain he could find. At the end of his rampage, he reached the nexus of all realities, which allowed him to travel anywhere he wanted in the multiverse. The next stop of his murder tour was the Ideaverse, a place where classic literary heroes lived. Dreadpool starts killing the people there to remove the idea of heroes from all literature. Dreadpool's final plot was to kill every single variant of Deadpool across the multiverse. He believed that completely removing Deadpool from all realities was the only way for everyone to be free from the false worlds they lived in. To do this, Dreadpool formed the Evil Deadpool Corps, a massive organization of evil Deadpool variants all dedicated to the same suicide mission as Dreadpool. As the leader of the Evil Deadpool Corps, Dreadpool essentially became a cult leader. Eventually, Dreadpool's plans come crashing down thanks to 616 Deadpool. The Deadpool Corps and the Evil Deadpool Corps all kill each other until it's just Dreadpool and Deadpool left standing. Dreadpool has forced himself to stop healing so that he's no longer trapped in the universe's twisted games. During the final confrontation, Deadpool convinces Dreadpool to see the error of his ways and to feel regret over all the universes he's killed. Deadpool cuts his head off and doses him with universal acid because he's still mad that Dreadpool killed his friends. Dreadpool is without a question the most violent Deadpool in the multiverse. He destroyed his own reality and then waged war against every other version of himself in the multiverse. The fact that he convinced hundreds of other Deadpools to join him in his suicide mission definitely makes him one of the crazier variants. But our final Deadpool might be the craziest. 1. Evil Deadpool. We've finally reached the end of our list. We've covered zombies, cyborgs, animals, and cosmic Jerry curls, but it's time to reveal the wildest Deadpool variant in the multiverse. This variant actually originates in the 616 universe alongside Deadpool himself. We're talking about Evil Deadpool, the assassin made of discarded body parts. Evil Deadpool was created due to the twisted actions of Ella Whitby. Dr. Whitby was a British psychologist who was obsessed with Deadpool and stalked him for many years. Her love for Deadpool went so far that she collected Wade's severed body parts and kept them in her fridge. When Deadpool discovered this, he was so disgusted that he threw the body parts into a dumpster. The body parts still retain Deadpool's healing factor, so they naturally merged to create a new Deadpool. An evil Deadpool wearing the stitched-together remains of Deadpool's many different costumes over the years. Besides the outfit and the rotting flesh, the weirdest thing about Evil Deadpool's body is that he has 2 right arms, giving him some freaky flexibility. Evil Deadpool has essentially become Wade's arch-nemesis. He's constantly trying to kill Deadpool, and no matter how many times he dies, he always comes back. Naturally, he joined the Evil Deadpool Corps so that he could kill Deadpool once and for all. During their battle, he was crushed by Galactus's helmet, but, like always, he survived. At the end of the Deadpool Kills Deadpool miniseries, we see that Evil Deadpool has stitched himself together with a severed half of another Deadpool variant. That technically makes Evil Deadpool half a duplicate of the original Deadpool and half an evil variant. The perfect enemy for someone like Deadpool. The strangest Deadpool variant could only come from the original Deadpool. It seems that Wade Wilson is stuck with himself, trapped in an eternal battle with Evil Deadpool where neither Merc can permanently win. And that's our list! What do you think of our ranking? Do you know any weirder Deadpool variants that we missed? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching to the end. Until next time, keep that plot armor on you. I'm Alexandra Macedo. Have a great day. Goodbye.